Yeah, I gave my first floor speech. It is not the speech I wanted to give in my first week in office talking about impeachment. As you know, I voted to certify the Electoral College, and I was one of the most vocal critics of the president and some of the members of my own party over the last week about the events that led up to the riots and anarchy and the attack on Capitol Hill last week. The House has every right to impeach the president. I said that today. But the way that the House went about it was political. There was no due process. They bypassed the Judiciary Committee and really just had impeachment come down to 2 or 3 hours of debate on the floor of the House. When the impeachment articles go over to the Senate, it'll be January 19th, Biden is sworn in on the 20th. And because the president will no longer be in office at that juncture, they can't even put him on trial for impeachment. And so really it was an exercise. It was a futile exercise, kind of moot. Nothing will be able to come from it. There was a bipartisan effort, bicameral, meaning both Democrats and Republicans in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House wanted to censure the president, prohibit him from running for office again or holding office again, and condemn him and hold him accountable for the events last week. But unfortunately, Speaker Pelosi would not bring it up for a vote. And so what we saw was a continued politics, and it's time to stop with politics, to really heal our nation, and one, admit we have a problem with divisiveness in this country, admit that we have a problem with rhetoric, two, take responsibility for it, Republicans and Democrats, because there's been violence all across the country for 9 months now. And three, stop being part of the problem and start being part of the solution. And that's what my speech was about today. And I pledge to the constituents and the people I represent in the 1st Congressional District that I will continue to do just that in the days, the weeks, and the months to come.
What have you heard from your constituents? I mean, obviously they're contacting you and telling you how they feel.
I've heard it all. I mean, literally, I've heard it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly over the last couple of weeks. But I promised that I would be an independent voice. I would make my decision based on the Constitution, and that's what I will continue to intend to do.
What's going on behind the scenes up there? I mean, how much, I don't want to say wheeling and dealing, but what are people saying behind the scenes up there?
Well, it's very divided up here, even within our own party, even within the Democratic Party. I think people were really disappointed that we could not find a bipartisan way forward this week. And that the way that impeachment was politicized, they weren't able to do censure, even though you had Republicans and Democrats, both sides of the aisle, in both chambers, willing to do that. The Speaker wouldn't allow it to happen. So there was a lot of disappointment in the chamber.
I'm sorry if you're going to repeat yourself. I know you're crushed for time. You got to go. You were breaking up a
Yes.
little early. What are you expecting for the next 7 days up until Inauguration Day? What's going to happen in the next 7 days?
I am praying for peace and that we have a peaceful transition of power. I am not going to attend the inauguration because I'm worried about my safety and the safety of others. There's been chatter about what might happen, what violence might occur between January 17th and January 20th. And I'm going to pray for our men and women in uniform who are out there protecting the people. None of us should fear going to work or to an event that we might see violence at the end of the day. And it's un-American, it's wrong, and I will continue to condemn it.